This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in our yesterday's class, we're understanding how to create one framework application, and then followed by we have to understand how to create one implementation application. So generally, to create one application, first and foremost, we have to log in as an administrator. Then that operator ID will be taking us to Pega platform application, which is actually OOTP. So if you are trying to create, if you are trying to log in with your own operator ID, then it might take you to credit card application, or maybe next day it might take you to loans application, based on the access what your manager is giving to you. That we know. Now currently we are having only one operator ID, and that has to take you to the Pega platform application only, and this is the master application, and this application helps for any of the child application to be created successful. So here we logged in into Pega platform, and to create one application, this is the navigation what we use now. So if we just use this, we'll be getting a screen. There it will ask us whether this is a scratch project or something based on other. That is what it will ask. Yesterday we selected like in scratch. After that it will be asking for the theme. So we understood generally there will be three themes: Cosmos theme, React theme, and UI kit. So there will be three themes. But in the latest version, we will be having only two generally showing up, that is Cosmos and React. So till maybe 4 months back or 5 months back, so we used to find like UI kit also. Maybe till 8.5 version, we are finding it like UI kit also as the third theme. And that theme we are having it from maybe past 10-15 years. So most of the projects today are still with UI kit, because those projects might be started bit earlier now. Fine. And projects which are starting recently, maybe in the last 1 year or so, so they are using theme Cosmos. So the latest one today, what we are supposed to use is theme Cosmos, that we are selecting. After that, it will be just asking what is the application name, and then type. What is its type? So if we just provide application name, based on that name, ID also will be generated, and you are not directly supposed to click on create application. You are first to check for the settings. In settings or in configurations, initially it will be showing with some kind of implementation. Okay, so the settings there will be like implementation and with some random organization name. So you are supposed to make the changes accordingly, and then only you have to create. So if you are not making changes accordingly, if you are not making any changes accordingly there, one application will be created, but those further changes you cannot able to make on it. Suppose if the application name is wrong, or if the type is wrong, if organization name linking is wrong, these kind of updations cannot be done later. Because once an application is created, we know maybe some hundreds of actions has to be done: creating a table or creating a rule, generating ID, and for this class structure, lot many things. We don't know still like what is class structure. So n number of things happen, and you cannot go to each and every rule and make the changes. So which is very very difficult. So that is the reason application once created, it can never be updated or it cannot be edited. So you cannot even delete it also. If you're trying to delete the application, maybe our front end rule might be deleted. What about database? What about its connections? Each and everything is deleting is very very difficult. So once a mistake, suppose if a mistake is happening here, you can ignore that application, and you have to create again everything from the beginning. Considering you don't know anything, you will create everything from the beginning. So this will understand. So in our yesterday's class, we have created one application, that is like BOA banking framework. So once the application is created, next thing what we are supposed to do, maybe if you leave this screen and if you are trying to create implementation, then framework and implementation both will be created. But you are supposed to get operator IDs for this, right? So as of now, we know three applications: Pega platform as the master one, maybe framework and maybe implementation. But you have only one operator ID. So if you log in with that operator ID, it will all the time take you to master application only, from where you can create new applications, but you cannot develop the existing applications, no. So you are supposed to get operator ID, at least one operator ID for every application. So now we can see one framework application getting created, and here it will be asking us to enter the user or enter some kind of ID. So based on the ID what we enter, one operator ID will be created. Okay, so now let me give one operator ID, and that ID should be tagged for this framework application. Okay, so if I log in with that operator ID, suppose ID creation is happened. Now again if I log off and if I log in with that new operator ID, it has to take me to framework. And then it should not take me to Pega platform, it has to be taking me to framework application. And framework application in the sense, should I be getting Dev Studio, or should I be getting the output screen, or will I be getting admin related settings? What should be the next action for me? So if I just create one new operator ID and log in, so the next role has to be decided, right? So meaning while creating operator ID, we have to take care of the role. What role he is? Is he a developer, or is he a tester, or is he some kind of manager or administrator likewise? So for every PRPC application, we know there will be 4 roles. You take any PRPC application, it might be framework or implementation, whatever, we'll be having 4 roles. What are those? Authors. Authors meaning authors and developers, nothing but developers. And some kind of administrator will be there for every application. He has to take care of extra configurations, deployment related things, listeners kind of. Some extra administrator should be there. And what will be the next one? Users in the sense, the real bank employees or the real insurance people. Okay, as an author you will be first logging in, you will be developing everything, and then testers has to test it, right? Generally testers in the sense, there will not be any special role for tester. So tester will also be considered like a normal user. Okay, so how an bank employee logs in and how he will do everything, in the same way tester will be logging, meaning he has to get an operator ID with role as user. Okay, so he will be just logging in like an normal bank employee, create work, create credit card request, everything. After that he himself will be changing the role to manager. Okay, so that operator ID, tester's operator ID, it might be currently linked with the user role. So he will be logging in and he will be creating some kind of credit card request. After that, that request has to be reaching for bank manager's approval, right? Bank manager's approval. Meaning the same tester, he will be considered like an, or he will be logged in like a manager. He will do some settings in the background. If you log off and log in, he will be getting manager output stream, where he has to get approve, reject options, those advanced options. Okay, so tester is nothing but user kind of, and maybe development first and then testing first and some kind of deployment and other related things, then administrator comes into picture. Okay, so in your company wherever you join, Pega developer roles will be there, Pega tester roles will be there, and even Pega admin jobs also will be there. So Pega admin meaning you will not find those number of opportunities. Okay, you will not find huge opportunities there. Maybe for one project, maybe one or two admins. Project might be of very project might be of 5 years or 6 years, and project resource count or developers count may be 30 or 40, but even for that admin will be maybe one or two. So administrator opportunities will be very very less. So that is the reason most of the people they doesn't prefer going like Pega admin. Okay, so whoever is currently working like a developer, maybe from past 5 years or 6 years, we can train him internally and we can able to give admin role for them. So there will not be any special admin role opened in Naukri or anywhere. Okay, so this generally happens. And there will be one more role. What is that? What is that? Managers.
Managers.
Yeah. So every application, every PRP's application will be having with these four roles. Nothing more than that. Only these four roles. Fine. So if an operator ID is being created, he should be either like a developer or a tester or admin or the real user or the manager only. No? Nothing more than that, right? Fine. So now, if I'm trying to create operator ID from this point, so what is the option we are saying? Only authors. So we are not finding remaining three or four. No? Why? So this will be your interview question. So in interview they'll ask you what will be the roles of Pega application. Then you'll say like these four. Then next question will be like, but while creating an application, why do you find only one? Why not you'll find it like users or managers or admin? So this will be the question. So this is very, very basic interview question. You might not be getting this question because every one of you should learn perfectly and wanted to go like an experienced, right? So these kind of silly questions you'll not get. Suppose if the recruitment is happening maybe in the college level, okay, there these kind of questions they can ask. Okay, fine. So consider one scenario. If I join one company as a developer, one operator ID will be created for me. No? I am trying to log in with that operator ID. So maybe for loans application, my manager is giving me one operator ID created for the loans application. So I have to log in with that. Then it has to take me to loans application, and my business analyst has to give me one document, and I have to prepare that loans application. So this is what generally happens. Maybe one tester also joined. He also should be getting one operator ID created, and he also will be having loans application access only. And if he is trying to log in, if I log in, I'll get Dev Studio. And if he is logging in, he will not get Dev Studio, right? He will be getting direct output screen. Welcome to HDFC Bank. Click here for loans registration, or click here for existing loan extra details, or click here for modification, some kind of output screen is what he will get. Fine. Now consider if I'm creating one operator ID maybe for a tester. Suppose you are joined my company as a tester, and here if I find it like Cosmos users, user and a tester. Na? So we're understanding we'll find only one. By chance, if there are remaining three also, what will be the problem I'm trying to explain you. So if there is option showing up like user, suppose if you select user here and if you click on add, what will happen? So one operator ID will be created and he will be given role as user, tester. Now if I log off everything and if I log in with this username and with its password, what should happen? It has to take me to loans application only in the output screen, right? So will I get Dev Studio there? So this tester is given like an, or this operator is given like an user role, meaning he will not get Dev Studio. He will be getting output screen only. In the output screen, what they can do generally? If I'm a bank employee, if I'm getting some screen, what options I'll get? I'll get an option to register a new customer, or I'll get an option to modify the customer details. Only these things, right? So will I get an option to do any development work? So will I get anything like drag and dropping? No, no. Or will I get any option to create new operator ID for other person? I'm just a bank employee. I'll be getting output screen. So will I be getting any option to create extra operator ID for other person? No, no. So what are we understanding? In the, if you are selecting role as the user, we'll be getting only output screen. Output screen, there is nothing like extra development work allowed. No drag and dropping, no extra operator ID creations, nothing. No rule creations, nothing. So no development work is allowed from that point. So that application is meant to create some registration or do some kind of modification, those things only. Fine. Consider if you are having manager option also here. So if I create an operate ready and if I give role as manager, manager in the sense our real-time managers, not our Pega managers. So our bank manager, deputy manager, those level. So if an operator ID is created and tagged like a manager, then if we log in with that operator ID, what will be the screen we'll get? Will not get Dev Studio. We'll be getting some kind of manager approval screen where I can see all the loans registered by my employee one, maybe all the credit cards issued by my employee two, bank employee two. So I have to open each one, approve or reject, approve or reject. These things only. No? So will we have any option like extra kind of development? No development is allowed by a Citibank manager like me. And will I be getting an extra option to create operator ID for other people? No. Meaning no development work is allowed. No development work is allowed. So here if there is a role selected other than authors, we will not get Dev Studio. Kada? Meaning if it is like author only will be getting Dev Studio. Author meaning developer. Only he has to get Dev Studio. If there is anything other role, if that is selected, it will take us to some other screen. From there, extra development work or extra operator ID creations are not possible. Oh, no? So now if suppose if I have selected user, if it is there, if I have selected user, it will take me to user portal. So that user portal only I can access. So whatever the operator ID I'm creating now, if I give it like user, this operator ID once he is logging in, he will be getting this portal. He will be getting this maybe loans application. Can anyone apart from this person can access that application? Only that person can access. So other people cannot access because there is no operator ID created for them and only he can access. Maybe after he is accessing, can he create operator ID for other people? He cannot create any operator IDs, meaning this application should be used only by him and he still cannot do any development work. Aim pointing karte. Anna? Suppose if you are a tester and if I am giving access for you, only you can access. Can you create operator ID for me? Meaning I cannot access. Other person cannot access. Only you can access. Or at least can you log in and do any development work? No. As a tester, you cannot do any drag and drop or development work. So what is the point of creating one application and giving only access for you? You cannot create operators for other people and you even cannot do development work also. Waste of creating application. Kada? Anna? Waste of creating application. So that is the reason while application creation, you will not find any other option apart from authors. You will not find any other option. Fine. So this is what you have to understand. Maybe in the previous versions of Pega, that is like till 8.5, as I told you, till 8.5, you will be finding three themes: Cosmos, React, and UI Kit. So if you had selected UI Kit there, if you might have selected UI Kit, then here you will be finding two options. So previous screen, if you might have selected UI Kit, click on submit button, you'll be getting this screen where it will show everything is configured successfully. Now if an operator ID is being created, you'll be finding two options: authors and admin. You will never find user. You will never find manager. You will find admin also if you had selected UI Kit there. But Theme Cosmos is allowing only developer role to be selected at this moment. Okay, so if it is like UI Kit, you will be finding both author and administrator. Maybe if you had selected administrator there, if you just click on add, one ID will be created. So administrator in the sense he can access administrator to that screen as well as Dev Studio also. Administrator and enti, as I told you, if you are joining company as a Pega developer, maybe after 4 years experience or maybe after 10 years experience, we can make you as an administrator also. meaning you will be having knowledge on admin's part as well as development part also, no? So considering this point, if an role is given like an administrator, so in this screen we will not find, in maybe till 8.5 version, that's what I'm saying. Till 8.5 version you'll be finding both author as well as admin if you have selected UI kit only. So if an admin has been, if we select role as admin, then if I log in with that username and password, it will take me to admin studio, not directly to dev studio. It will take us to admin studio. But from there again we can come to dev studio also. Dev studio also. If we can come to dev studio, we can create new operator IDs, new development work, everything can happen. No? So that is the reason. Okay, so you will never find user or manager role. So everyone clear with this, right? So this you have to understand. So this will be one of the interview questions, but you may not get it. Okay, so if people wanted to go like an experienced, or you will be having lot of assignments and projects done, no? So these kind of silly questions you will not get. Okay, so let us continue in the yesterday's document itself. So this is the document what I shared yesterday, and we got stuck here, right? So let me create one new operator ID. Okay, so operator ID initially when it is being created now, it should be of email format. So maybe let me give it like BOA framework at the rate maybe gmail.com, whatever. I'm giving some dummy name here. Now if I click on add, so create at least one operator ID. Okay, after that, whatever we have discussed like types of roles and why we will not find other roles apart from author, those will be like an extra 2 to 3 hours discussion for us. So since we are at this point of discussion, I just wanted to put it for 2 minutes, and how to create extra operator IDs and what are the types of roles, every role or every operator ID, how to change the roles in future if required. So this will be like an extra discussion, 2 to 3 hours of extra discussion. There you'll understand clearly. And that theoretical text maybe for 2 or 3 lines, I'll include it separately and I'll send it. So let me create at least one operator ID, and now you have to click on add. So let me click on add. So you can able to see one ID being generated and with some random password. So what is happening if I click on add? So by just seeing we can understand one operator ID getting created. But background, whenever we click on this button, it has to execute one SQL query, and this operator ID should be available in our main database table. So we know all the operators, all the list of managers or the testers or developers or the users, all the list of operators should be maintained in one table. Okay, that table name is also operators. There will be one prefix, I'll explain it later. So there will be one master table, and that table name is operators. So in that there will be multiple columns. Just imagine there will be multiple columns: operator ID, operator password, maybe role, application name. So these kind of column names it will be there, right? So what is happening now? If I click on this add button, one SQL query has to be generated, inserting a new record into the table, and then it is generating one random password also. So it has to generate one random password. But in the previous versions of Pega, maybe before 8th version till 7.4, so you used to get similar screen after application creation. There if you click on add, you'll be getting one message like operator ID created successfully. It will not show any password also. It will not show any password. But here we can see some random password. Okay, maybe in your case password will change. This is random all the time. It will keep on changing. But in the previous version, there is no concept of random passwording. For every operator ID, password will be rules. For every operator ID, password will be rules. Suppose if I'm a manager, if 4 person joining my company today, I have to create operator ID for person 1, 2, 3, and 4. No? So today's behavior is like four different random passwords will be generated. But there, everyone's password will be rules, 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 rules. That's it. So rules, this as the password you'll come across multiple times in your real-time project. Maybe if your manager is working there from past 5 or 10 years, he still might be using the password as rules only. Okay, so sometimes your manager or your lead or your supervisor, sometimes they'll be sharing you password to just check with their login. Mostly you'll come across password as rules, rules, rules. Enter my operator ID, password is rules. That's it. Okay, so this is the password what earlier got generated by default, and still people continue using the same. Consider consider there is one database, common database for our project. There should be generally database, right? And that database generally to be used by each and every one of us. And even for that, if you're trying to maintain with one password, the common password again will be mostly rules. It's not mandatory, just what is happening frequently we are understanding. So mostly password will be rules, but now we're understanding one random password. Okay, so here if you just again click on done, if you again just click on log off, then yesterday I asked you not to click on log off or not to click on done, no? Because application got created but without any id, without any operator id. Okay, so if you are trying to log off, you will be getting same again login page. With what id you will create, with what id you will log in. So without id you cannot log in into this framework, so that application might be wasted. So that is the reason I asked you to wait. Now we are creating operator id also, and if you by chance click on done or log off without you copy pasting this password anywhere, then again same situation, no? So if you log off, same login page, username and password you have to see. So username you can understand. What about the password? So what about the password? Don't think like you'll be getting one email for this. Okay. So don't think like you'll be getting one email. So email will not be there. So you know ID but without password. Again waste of that application, right? Application ఏం చేసుకోలేం కదా. So you have to do something from the backend. So for now, 100% at least one operator ID should be created, and 100% this password has to be copied. So by chance, if you click on this send invitation, so you can see like use this send invitation button so that username and password will be mailed. That is what we are seeing. Now if I click on this send invitation, email will not be generated. Generally, email will not be reaching you because this is the application what we are creating on day one. Okay, my business analyst might be creating this application on day one. So this credit card application or loans application, this generally has to be connected with some external email server. Okay, suppose if I'm trying to place one order in Amazon, I'll be getting one email, right? So thank you for placing the order. Okay, so thank you for placing the order. That is what email I'll get. Okay, so that is what the email generally we get. So that email triggering is not because of Amazon server. Amazon application should be connected with some external email server, right? Suppose if you join Capgemini company today, you'll be getting one email ID kada, first name dot last name @capgemini.com. So that email server is not related to Capgemini's. That email server might be related to Microsoft. Sometimes Skype చూస్తాము, టీమ్స్ ఉంటుంది కదా. సో Each and every company, they are trying to integrate with some third party mail server. You join TCS, Cognizant, Capgemini, whatever, you'll be getting one mail. That mail is not related to TCS or Capgemini. So there will be some kind of extra server, IBM server or Microsoft Teams. Okay, so that particular application is connected to external mail server. Similarly here also, the new application whatever I'm creating, this has to be connected with extra mail server, then only emails will trigger. So today is day one, we are just creating one application. So did we do any configurations for email triggering? We did not do any configurations, right? So email triggering will not happen. Even if we click on this send invitation, email triggering will not happen. So 100% you have to remember copying this password somewhere. If you ignore this password, click on done or log off, ID you might be remembering, but password waste. So whole application no one can log in, and no development work can happen there. So make sure you copy and paste this ID password somewhere. So copy operator ID and password separately. So let me copy this. Now you can straight away click on log off or done. So if I click on log off, automatically home screen, log off login page you'll get. And if I click on done, you'll be getting this home screen in the same Pega platform. From here you can create one more implementation. So likewise you can proceed further. So for now, let me click on log off. So we'll be getting this login page. So login using above framework credentials. Okay, so we are supposed to log in with this framework credentials. So this is my operator ID and this is the password, right? So this is the password. Okay. Now if I click on login button, it has to check whether this operator ID is existing in my operators table and whether this is the correct password or not. And then next screen what it should be, what is the role given for this person. Next screen what we will get, dev student in a. So this has been given with authors as the role, right? So he has to get dev student generally. But here, so click on login. But here you will be getting some kind of change password screen. Change password. So what is happening there? While creating operator ID, PRPC is generating one random password. So once, or if you are trying to log in for first time, it will take us to change password screen. Now I'll change the password, click on this button, everything happens. If I log off and log in, if I'm trying to log off and again if I'm trying to log in with the new password, will I get this screen again? Generally, no kada. So here you have to understand something about database concept. So what will be the database columns? Those you have to understand. So consider this as our operators table. So there will be something like operator ID as a column, okay, and operator name, maybe password, application name, okay, maybe role. These things will be there. And at the last, there will be one more column called is random password. Okay, so there will be something called is random password. So here, so consider this screen. So consider this screen. If I click on add button, ID has to be generated, meaning one new record has to be inserted into this table, right? One new record has to be inserted and here random password will be generated. Avuna kada? And here is random password will be equal to true. Is random password will be equal to true. Now, if you are trying to log in here, if I am trying to log in, what PRPC has to do? PRPC has to check whether ID and password is correct or not. If I click on login, one SQL query has to be generated and it will be checking whether ID and password is correct or not. Then it will be checking whether this value is true. If the value is true, then it will take us to this screen. All the time తీసుకోకూడదు. When the value is true, then only it will show us to this screen. Now I'll change the password whatever. I'll enter old password, new password. If I click on change password, what should happen? Same in the table, updation should happen. SQL query should be generated, updating the existing record. So this is fine, this is fine. Here password will be updated something like ABC, whatever your new password. And this will be changed to false. This you have to understand. Okay, so this has to be changed to false. Fine. So next it will be taking us to Dev Studio or whatever. Next time if I log off and logging in, again PRPC has to check the username and password is correct or not. Password is correct or not. Then here if it is showing false, so this is not a random password, right? Customer has already changed, operator has already changed. You will not get this change password screen. So this is very common, looks simple, but what is happening in the background, that you have to understand. So you have to understand what is the table name and what will be the date, how the format of data will be, and how to open this database table, how to check for all these things you have to get. So if you don't know anything about this database in the background, you might not understand few requirements. Consider I am the business analyst. Okay, I am the business analyst or I am the bank manager. Now my requirement here is I wanted to consider I am a bank manager. So I am asking my business analyst to design one screen, that is like there should be one drop down where I have to get all the list of clerks in my bank. There will be clerks, no, there will be cashiers, and there will be attenders, and there will be helpers, there will be managers. Now my requirement as a bank manager, I am asking my uh, business analyst to get this design. So there should be one drop down for clerks, maybe one drop down for all the list of attenders, and one drop down for all the list of deputy managers, and maybe all the list of helpers, whatever, sweepers or helpers, whatever. Now if I click on this clerk 1 name, clerk 2 name, clerk 3 name, if I click on this maybe cashier 1 name, cashier 2, and manager 1, manager 2, I have to get the data. So if this is the design, your business analyst, what they will do, they will be preparing one document for this and they will be giving for you. You are the developer now, you have to develop this screen. What you will do for that? What you will do for that? So you will be creating one new screen. Okay, you will drag and drop a drop down for that. Okay, and here if I click on that, we have to get the data from so and so database table. So here you have to understand what is the database table name and what is the column you wanted to show it here. So I wanted to show only the names of clerks. Okay, so from that database table you have to understand what is the column name for role, what is the column name for employee name, and it has to be sorted with alphabetical order A to Z or Z to A. So each and everything you have to be clearly working on. So make background table name ivi తెలియకపోతే ఇది చేయలేరు. We know all the list of operators, clerk, maybe deputy manager, cashier, whoever is accessing our application. Ignore about helpers. Whoever is accessing our application, there should be operator ID, right? All the operators will be available in one common table only. From that table you have to get the data from data onto drop down 1, and different type of data onto drop down 2, and different type of data onto drop down 3. All these are 100% real time requirements. So you have to understand from the day one, you have to explore in that way. Whatever the point we discuss, you have to be exploring or analyzing to that extent. Okay, and I suggest every one of you to follow our YouTube channel for the daily challenges. Okay, daily we are posting Pega challenge. So I'll not expect you to do or complete those assignments today itself. So you have to understand what type of requirements you'll be getting down the line, maybe after 1 week or 1 month or maybe 2 months. So you should be in a position to do those all assignments or challenges. Okay, so you have to understand what type of requirements you might be getting. So if you can understand what type of requirements, you can start thinking or exploring from day one itself. So this you have to understand. If you have ever checked Pega challenge number 1 in that, something related to today's discussion, it will be there, something related. Okay, you can just check and correlate with that. Slowly you have to understand what kind of requirements and how to do, maybe in the down the line 1 week or 10 days, you have to think of it. And parallelly, every one of you, what is happening in our class, suppose as of now today we have created one banking FW, and maybe we'll create one implementation that is like loans. This is what we'll do on daily basis. Okay, so we'll work everything on this loans application or framework. So parallelly you are supposed to create same thing in your software. Okay, so every one of you should install the software maybe by this time. If not, please be ready by Sunday. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow it will be holiday, so please be ready by Sunday. I have shared you the software download link or in video, everything in our WhatsApp groups. You can just download and keep it ready. And after that you have to first create one banking framework application with the same name. Don't do any experiments in this. Whatever we are doing in the class, 100% you have to replicate it here. And then parallelly you have to work on insurance project also. You have got complete requirements for that kada. So how many screens it should have, screen 1 2 3 4, everything. And if you are feeling anything reusable, you have to maintain something in its framework, right? So create one project like city FW, and then city implementation. I'll give you the names as well. Similarly, Apollo, something related to healthcare, right? Apollo framework is what you have to create. And then Apollo online booking. This might be the implementation application. So along with this, you have to create one more application called test. Test framework you create, and test implementation is the next one. So total 8 applications should be there in your laptop. 8 applications meaning at least 8 operators kada. Avuna? Every application should have at least one operator ID. If you don't maintain operator ID for that, waste of creating that application, you cannot log in. Okay, so whatever the experiments you wanted to do, some people if I ask you to develop based on A to Z, some people want this to be explored from Z to A. Oh, okay, or maybe size to be increased or reduced, whatever. Any kind of experiments, you have to do it in the test project itself. Okay, so you are not supposed to make any experiments in this main project. Okay, this you have to do. Okay, fine. So let us change the password. So the actual password will be this one, and the new password, let me give it like rules again. RULES. It is not mandatory, but let me follow the same thing. So change password to rules. So this is not mandatory. Okay, so maybe session might be expired. Okay, so let me log in again. Now if I click on change password, it has to update the things in database table, as well as it has to take me to the next screen. What will be the next screen? Will it be Dev Studio? What will be the next screen? You will not get Dev Studio. What are you seeing now? So what is the name we are seeing now? Something like App Studio.
App Studio.
So we are understanding Dev Studio will be one thing, Admin Studio will be there, and we are finding one more thing called App Studio. So if we click on this, you'll be getting these options. Admin Studio. Admin Studio, we have to give access again, that will do. So App Studio, Dev Studio, Prediction Studio. These three we are saying. All the development work, you can able to do it from Dev Studio or even App Studio. So App Studio will not have complete features. So all the development work should be done from the Dev Studio only, but little development work can even be done from App Studio also. So consider you are joining like an business analyst. Okay, consider you are joining like a business analyst. Day one, what will be your duty? So you are supposed to prepare one document with screenshots and share it with an developer. So developer, they has to exactly develop based on that screenshot, right? Fine. So now as a business analyst, to prepare that screenshot, what you will do? First మీరు development చేసి screenshot తీసుకోవాలా? First you have to develop from your end, then you have to take the screenshot. No? Do you know how to develop all these things? If you can develop all these things, you can act like both developer and BA, right? So you cannot develop all the things. Then what you will do? Just to get that screenshot as it is, you have to first replicate, take the screenshot and send it to development team. Now, just to take the screenshot, some development work should happen where you cannot be completely comfortable. Then what you will do? Will you ask one developer and will you request them to prepare one or to develop some kind of screen number one, take the screenshot and again send it for them, and they will put the same screenshot in the document and again they'll send it back? Is this correct? Suppose if you're a business analyst, you have to get that document, right? You have to get that screenshot also. If you are requesting one developer to design everything for now as it is and give the screenshot, then if he gives you screenshot back, what you will do? You will put it in a document again and you will send to development team only, no? So can't a developer can do all these things? So there should be some knowledge for the business analyst, no? Business analysts, they have to log in, they have to do these kind of basic work, basic screen designing, they have to take the screenshots, then if it is given for the developer, they will be doing according to that. No? So here business analysts should be having minimum Pega knowledge, minimum development knowledge. You take any other project, Java project or .NET or Python, wherever, so every project will be having business analyst, but their technical knowledge is not at all required. So if I can just know the process, what business analyst will do, what about the Scrum meeting, Agile methodology, how to interact with the client, how to prepare this requirement document, everything. This is completely more or like a process. If I know the process completely, I can be acting like an BA for Java project or .NET project, whatever. There I don't require any kind of technical aspects, but in Pega project, nothing like that. So in Pega project, one business analyst should have development knowledge also, little development knowledge also. So that is the reason in our Pega project for a business analyst, there will be one certification also. Pega business analyst certification will be there. Just like how we do CSA, CSSA, LSA, business analysts also, they have to learn everything and they should be completing one certification. Just to complete that certification, they have to learn lot many things on this Pega. So in Pega, just to join like an BA, they should have development knowledge, little development knowledge. So little development knowledge meaning they will be using App Studio in this case. As I told you, App Studio and Dev Studio, both we can do development work. But core development can be done only from the Dev Studio. Any kind of configurations, email triggering, or some kind of SMS, whatever. Core functionality has to be done only from Dev Studio. App Studio will be having little features, and this will be mostly used by business analyst only. As a developer, we generally go for Dev Studio, develop everything from there. So 100% features will be there. Okay, so for now we are seeing Dev Studio. we are seeing App Studio by default redirected. Now change this manually to Dev Studio. And there is one more thing called Prediction Studio also, and this will be used by Pega decision making people. So as a developer, you will not touch this also. So this is completely irrelevant for us. And along with that, there will be one more thing called Admin Studio also. So if I click on this, generally you should be getting 4, including with Admin Studio. Okay, so you can just directly open Admin Studio from here, and you can see final output like configurations, extra those things. So for now, let us manually switch to Dev Studio. Okay, fine. So this is our actual screen. Okay, fine. So our application we can able to see. And what is the application name now? What is the application name? Our actual BOA banking framework. Okay, so if I log in like an administrator, I'll be getting Pega platform. Now I'm logging in like an my own operator ID, so it will be taking me to framework. Okay, so here I can see the complete name BOI space banking space these things. Now if I wanted to just check for its definition, I can use this, right? So if I use this, we can understand what is the rule name and what is the display name, ID name, all these things we can understand. So let us check for its definition. So here you can understand ID and this as the display name. So ID and display name both are different in this case. Okay, so in this way you have to create one framework application. So my framework application is ready now. Next, what we are supposed to do? So we have to create one implementation application. So can we do that also quickly? So we can create one implementation application. And remember to create one application. So can I directly create implementation from here? Or should I log off? Should I log in again as an administrator? There from Pega platform should I have to create? So can I directly create it from here or should I have to create it from Pega platform only? That is my question.
We can directly create here.
So can we directly create? So
Yes.
consider your application design is like this. So organization maybe framework 1, and for this one more framework, and this has got maybe 3 implementations, and this has got 2 implementations. Your business analyst somehow designed all the structure, created maybe 10 applications and 10 different operator IDs initially. Now your manager, if he is asking you to create application, 99% you will not get a chance to create application. But just for example, if he is asking you to create one application for this one, consider this as the insurance, where currently it is having vehicle insurance and medical insurance. So they wanted to start one more application, something maybe related to property insurance. So one application has to be created, right? So by that time you might be logged in into this medical insurance application. So by this time you might be logged in. So it might be showing something like medical insurance application for you. Now my question here is, to create one new application, structure should be this application should be connected to this framework. So to create this new application, what you will do? So can you directly log in into this application and create one acting for this? Or should you have to log in only into framework and create something like this? Or should you have to log in into above framework? Or should you have to log in into topmost one, that is Pega platform? So now tell me where you will log in and where you have to create and how to achieve this structure. So should you have to log in only into this and create, or this one or Pega platform? Where generally you can log in and do?
I think we have to go to this Pega platform and we have to choose
So
this particular framework. and we can
Okay.
use that
So
implementation.
is it like we have to log in only in the Pega platform and do it? No, not required. So if I wanted to create a new application, so if you wanted to create a new application, you can log in into any application also. So consider this is credit card application and you wanted to create some new application related to property insurance. So both are completely different, right? Both are completely different. So you are logged in into credit card. Consider it is showing like credit card application for you here. Okay, and if you're trying to create new application, then you'll be getting a screen. What is that? Is the new project or is the new application from the scratch or something related to existing? No? There you can able to select some kind of framework, and within that another framework, and within this, right? So you can create one new application by logging into any of the existing applications. It is not like for this application you have to log in only under this wing, or it is not like you have to log in only in the topmost Pega platform, nothing like that. So to create one application, whatever application, you can log into any application, because or as of now we have created one framework. For this framework application to be created successfully, we know Pega platform is helping. Okay, we understood like for an framework application or for an application whatever we have created, if this has to be created successfully, it has to get help from Pega platform and created successfully, no? So we understood like Pega platform is acting like an OOTB framework where it is providing all its rules and creating the new one. Now if I am logging in here and creating one new application somewhere here, then what is happening? The new application whatever we create, this will be getting help from the credit card application or whatever this one. Now if I create one new implementation, this will be getting help from this framework whatever the application we are having. So this anyway in turn got help from Pega platform only, somewhere long back. So every application should be getting help from Pega platform directly or indirectly. So while creating this application, we logged into Pega platform, meaning this application got created successfully just getting help from Pega platform. Now if I create one implementation application from here, okay, so application will be created successfully, no doubt in it. And in this scenario, my new application got help from this framework, and this framework anyway in turn got help from Pega platform. So this will be created successfully. Suppose if I log off completely, log in into Pega platform, and from there if I create new application, then also same, then also output will be same. So for the application to be created successfully, okay, for the application to be created successfully, it should get help from Pega platform directly or indirectly. Okay, if I'm logging in or if I'm trying to create it from here, indirectly it is getting help. Earlier it got directly help. Okay, so Pega platform is one master OOTB framework. Okay, this you have to understand. Okay, fine.